Azure App Service. Yes, it's a very, very important service. It is important from both the angles, whether it is administrators, that is infrastructure guys, the IT guys, or even if it is developers. For all of them, this particular service is going to play a very important role. So in this particular session, I'm going to discuss most of the things required for anybody to start using app service, and there are certain advanced topics also which we are going to subsequently take it. So what is an app service? See, actually we know Azure is all about services, and these services are categorized in infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service, PaaS, SaaS, and IaaS. So in this app service, we have got PaaS category. App service comes under PaaS category. Now, under app service, we are going to deploy our different types of applications, and we are going to do it very easily. Basically, it solves lots of our problems which otherwise we have to take care of when we use infrastructure that is a virtual machine of our own. So instead of using virtual machine, we are using Azure as a platform, rather app service as a platform, on top of which we are going to put our web applications. We are going to make use of mobile apps features. We are going to deploy APIs, basically the web API in the form of API apps. We are also going to have logic apps, and at times we are also going to use app service for the serverless functions of Azure. Now, what are each one of these? Simple web apps are just the websites which we have developed. So if you already developed a website, maybe a small website, as good as a static website, to a very complicated website, maybe something like an e-commerce website, or you might have used some content management system like WordPress. All these kind of websites which are developed maybe in .NET, maybe in Java, maybe in PHP, Python, any of these frameworks or languages or technologies if you have developed, and if you were able to use this over a period of time on your on-premise infrastructure, or if you were earlier putting it in some dedicated or shared server, now you can literally do lift and shift in Azure by making use of app service. Yes, the steps are very simple. You hardly perform any complicated operation, just in sequence, one step after the other, and with few clicks your site is going to get listed in app service. So a single integrated service. Now what does this single integrated service basically means here? Yes, as I said, we are going to use it not just for website. The same service is going to be used for multiple types of applications. Let it be web apps, let it be mobile apps. So for all this, because we are using a single service, that means the features of app service are going to be available to all of them. So for example, security. We can literally make our app service secured. In other words, we can make our website or APIs secured by writing 0 lines of code. No code required, and still we can make it secured. How do we achieve it? We'll see that. But yes, that is the beauty of app service. If your site is getting extra load, with few clicks you can just do scaling. You can scale the app service, and you don't have to put any hard work. You don't have to do any kind of load balancing configuration. All that will be literally taken care of in background for you. You don't have to physically do anything. So that is the benefit of app service. You can have your own custom domains. You can have your SSL certification added to it. So normal, whatever any kind of either basic or enterprise scale web application requires, everything can be achieved using app service platform. It's a fully managed compute platform. That's why we say it is fully managed, because it provides a lot of features on few clicks. Of course, the same things can be achieved using PowerShell or CLI commands also. It's a PaaS offering of Microsoft. And as you are using AppService, the developer advantage would be automatically they will focus on business rather than the plumbing job of integrating the website into a web server or hosting it as a website on some uh, internet web server. Your focus will be more on development logic. Infrastructure is taken care by Azure. Yes, you have the advantage of either using a shared or dedicated virtual machine in background. Mind you, you don't decide whether it is virtual machine of this configuration, that configuration, what is the compute resource being allocated to you. All that is taken care of in background. Rather, if you are using app service, you do not have ability to do a remote desktop login to the virtual machine which Azure is going to use in the background. Of course, whether it is shared or dedicated virtual machine and what is the size of the virtual machine, all that is going to be decided on the pricing tier which we are going to use for building our app service. And as I said earlier, you can do it in various languages. So first in app service also, I am going to consider web app as the basic platform for our discussion. So why web apps? The web apps which we are having support for in app service can be developed in multiple languages. They are pretty well optimized for DevOps. Basically, CI/CD pipeline can be very easily integrated with your DevOps features of Microsoft, which was earlier referred as VSTS. Now it is DevOps. You can do testing in production, and there is some beautiful feature called as deployment slot also, which we can deploy our application to before making it live. As I said earlier, we can achieve high scalability. Multiple instances of our applications can be achieved. You can even go for app service connecting to your on-premise data. See, there are many situations where I do not mind putting my website on internet, but my data is very secured, supposed to be very secure, and I for some reason do not believe in moving it onto the cloud. So between cloud and our on-premise infrastructure, we can create a VPN connection and then host the complete data in the database which is in on-premise. So the app service which is on Azure in background on a secured channel VPN is going to connect to the database and use it as if it is local. Even that is pretty much possible. Application templates, ready-made templates are available. If you want to have a WordPress website, you can literally select that WordPress template in the marketplace at the time of activating app service, and it does everything for you. Beautiful Visual Studio integration for developers. Through Studio itself, you can do almost everything. Create an app service, deploy your applications into the app service, and then also even do testing. You can put a breakpoint in your Studio code, run the website on internet, and perform the line by line code execution at the time of somebody is sending a request. And not only that, you can even do live streaming. Your code can produce output which we can actually view in the studio. In the output window, we can see the output of some log which is generated by the code executing in app service in Azure. That's the most beautiful thing. Something which I have not put up here but is also possible. You can make use of Docker containers. If you have created a Docker image, not only Docker image, any container image for that matter, Docker is the most popular obviously. You can deploy a Docker image into app service and host that also as an application. So that is why I believe app service is the most popular service which is going to be used not for extraordinary complicated application but routine applications which we do day to day, which are pretty common kind of applications. If you have built a monolithic architecture kind of application, you would obviously prefer having something like app service. Of course, the alternative is you go for something like service fabric, Azure service fabric, or you go for Azure Kubernetes service, AKS we call it. Both Azure service fabric and Azure Kubernetes service are ideally supposed to be used when you have architected your application as a microservice application. But if you are building a routine, common, monolithic application, app service is your favorite choice. And even today, most of the applications are monolithic applications. And hence I say app service is one of the favorite service which every IT guy, every infrastructure guy, every administrator, and most importantly, the developer is going to like it.